breaking news that there are new reports that the U.S. and Mexico have reached at least a partial deal on NAFTA after weeks of those bilateral talks. The fate of the decades-old trade agreement has been uncertain for more than a year now after President Trump threatened to withdraw if the U.S. didn't get a more favorable position. NBC's Hans Nichols is at the White House for us. Hans, what details, if any, do we know about this possible deal?
Chris, we know the president is tweeting that says a big deal with Mexico is looking good. The president suggesting that they have all but completed that deal with the Mexico side of the negotiations. Just a few blocks from here, there's a delegation from Mexico negotiating with the U.S. side, trying to hammer out these differences. But let's be clear about what this deal doesn't do, if indeed there is one, which NBC has not confirmed aside from that presidential tweet. Number one, it doesn't do anything with Canada. Canada still would need to agree to this deal, and there could be separate negotiations with the Canadians. And Justin Trudeau, the prime minister there, has been very clear that he won't sign on to anything. So you need to get the third party involved. And it's also clear, at least from what we're hearing about this deal, is that it does nothing with what Trump had promised his base, and that is that Mexico would pay for the wall. There are no indications that that is part of this deal. One of the reasons Trump was driving such a hard bargain was he was insistent, we all remember that campaign rally, that Mexico would pay for this wall. We'll get into the details on just what it does with autos, whether or not new factories are going to be taxed at 20% versus 2.5%, what the actual tariff regimes will be. Trade is notoriously complicated and, frankly, Chris, a little boring. But the headline here is the president saying, at least on the Mexico side, they're getting close to a deal. Let's listen to see just how much Trump tries to trumpet this. Chris?
Come on, you and I both know this is fascinating stuff.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.